Okay, perfect. So we'll begin the UDM University of Montreal panel. So if the speakers could open the camera. Yep, perfect.
Hi.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello, hello. So welcome everyone to the UDM panel. My name is Ryan. I'm the marketing coordinator at Curious, which means I'm in charge of your social media and also promoting your campaign. Today, I'm joined with four speakers, four students actually of University of Montreal that are either studying in CS or CS in mathematics. And we'll just go over the panel today and talk about their experience that they have with the tech-related programs that we have at UDM, but also their work experience or research experiences they have any. So just general questions about the campus life at UDM too. So as I said, my name is Ryan. I'm also a first year student at UDM actually, and we'll just begin with the presentations of the speakers. So maybe we can start with Leonard. So if you can just do a small bio about yourself.
So hi, my name is Leonard. I'm in my third year at UDM, and I've been doing like some research for a while. So that's like one thing that I like doing a lot, and yeah, it's that.
That's pretty cool, yeah. Perfect. Louis, if you can introduce yourself.
I'm a second year student at UDM in mathematics and computer science, and I like doing puzzles.
Cool, nice. And Etienne next.
Hello, I'm Étienne, and I'm in my fourth year of computer science at the university, and I do open source development on the side with Saturday service and stuff and debate.
Nice, perfect. And finally, Simon.
Everyone, I'm Simon. I'm in my third year of computer science and math at the University of Montreal. And in my free time, I like to play board games and whatnot.
Cool, perfect. Okay, so now let's get it with some questions that we have for you guys. So I just ask a question, and whoever is interested in it and wants to answer, you can just open your mic and answer it. So the first question that we have obviously are related to tech. So the first one is what got you actually interested in tech in CS, for example, and why did you join UDM in CS, for example? So whoever wants to answer first can go. Maybe Leonard.
Yeah, I'll go. So I learned programming like a while ago. I started programming at age like 13, I think, something like that. And the story is quite funny actually because I was doing some piano courses, and you understand why I talk about piano courses soon. It's just that, and I was like a bit interested in informatics, so I learned a bit like to code. I did like some coding on JavaScript stuff on a website or something, and then I learned that my piano teacher, teached also like programming. So my parents just asked her to teach me programming instead. So I got like a private course of programming at age something like 13. And it was, yeah, was really nice. I really enjoyed it. And since then I always wanted to go in this field. So in CJEP I chose Sciences Informatiques and Mathematics, and it's like a pre-university program to go into informatics, and then I choose computer science at the University of Montreal, just as a program that I wanted to do.
Nice.
So,
Are there any specific parts of tech you're interested? I think you said you've done some research in the past.
yeah, I've done some research in I did some research in CJEP. I did it in like autonomous vehicles. So AI kind of related. And right now at university, I kind of switched and I'm doing research in compilation. So it's a bit on another field. It's more like defining languages and stuff like that. And I like it a lot.
Oh, pretty cool. Nice. Perfect. And maybe Louis, if you have some insights on what got you interested in tech, it would be nice to hear.
Yeah, for sure. So personally, when I was in high school, I profoundly hated programming and
Okay.
nearly everything tech related because it just seemed so complex and so like
Yeah.
I didn't understand how it worked and anything like that. We did like some very simple stuff in robotics, like programming little robots to do different tasks, and I hated it. So I went to university in microbiology, and there I found that programming was actually math, and I like math. So that's where I learned with like side courses, and yep, that's how I got interested in programming, technology, and computer science generally.
Nice. That's a pretty cool story to hear. Etienne, you said you've done some work with open source project. Was that your first experience with tech, or did you learn also before that?
Well, since I was very young, I was interested in like organizing, classifying, stuff like that. And then I saw that there were things to do on Wikipedia and features I want added to there. So I started working on MediaWiki, the software of Wikipedia. So it was like a private course of programming, but really high standards I had to meet. And I continued from there since I was 13, 14, like Léonard.
Okay, yeah. So you started pretty young too. Okay. And Simon, finally, oh, you're still muted. Yeah.
Hello.
Yep. Yeah. We hear you. Yeah. Perfect.
Having a bit of technical difficulties here.
No problem.
Yeah. Well, I started people when I was young. I wanted to learn how to make video games like the ones I was playing, and so I found some courses online that taught in high school, and I learned that it was a lot like problem solving and sort of puzzles and stuff like that, and it used the same sort of analytical part of your brain that you use when you solve math problems, which I really enjoyed at school. So it just seemed like a natural fit to continue and go into computer science and math afterwards.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah. Have you done some project maybe actually within the game development or other stuff related to CS?
I've done a few games just for fun, but nothing really
Okay,
too
yeah.
major. Otherwise, I just work in computer science right now. I work for also for the university.
Okay, pretty cool. Nice. Perfect. So now that we have more insights about you guys' experiences in tech and we know a little bit more about you, we can maybe dive deeper in maybe the courses that we actually have at UDM. So all of you guys, I think, are a second, third, or fourth year. So maybe if you could explain a bit like what are the courses that we offer at UDM related to CS. So for example, the specificities we have of programming classes, or do we have like unique courses that we absolutely have to take in CS? So any of you that has an answer to that?
I could start.
Yep.
There's a few classes that you have to take. About half of your program is in just regular computer science is filled with obligatory classes that you have to take that range from general programming classes to theoretical computer science and also learning about like hardware and machine code and stuff like that. And so you sort of see like a wide spectrum of different concepts, and it's a very theoretical program as well. So you will have some hands-on experience, but it's also about learning the concepts behind computer science that make it all work.
Nice. And do you guys actually have maybe examples of assignments or school projects that you did at University of Montreal, or just some insights about the exams? Is it hard, or what are the projects like? Some insights about that?
Well, one of the most applied class we've got is computer engineer.
Yeah, computer engineer.
Yeah, okay, computer engineer, and it's very much about doing a group project to learn how to work as a team in a computer science environment, and we really learn how to make a little project. Like, it's for us, we created a login system for a gym, essentially. Something very simple, but the way you got to work as a team is very, very well. You dive really very much into it, and you use like industry tools like visual padding to help you like work as a team better.
Oh, that sounds good. Is it a second year class?
Yep, it's a second year class. You can, yeah, and I think everybody's asked to take it, no matter the program.
Okay, perfect. Nice.
Yeah. Another class that I really liked is it's called, in French, it's Concept and Langage de Programmation. It's like programming languages and paradigms, something like that. So, and it's the first course where I learned about functional programming. So it's like another kind of programming that's not usually, actually it's kind of used a lot in Perl, like in current languages, but like it's nice to see that you can only create languages that have these kind of concepts and everything. And one really cool project I did in this class is creating an interpreter. So it's designing, like, for example, the console you have in Python where you type like variables and stuff like that. So you create the program that creates your language, actually. So that's it's a really nice project we did.
Yeah, those are a really nice project. And do you guys have actually a least favorite class? Is there a class that you hated maybe in your years of CS at UdeM, or maybe just a class that was hard?
The introductory classes were because it was really a combination of those who had lots of experience already and those who didn't.
Yeah.
So it kind of went a bit slow for others and fast for
the others.
Yeah. To add on to that, even for people who had essentially no knowledge of computer science or programming, sometimes the introductory classes can be particularly easy and can make you uninterested in the program at the beginning. But as long as you focus on some of the more theoretical classes, it can get much more interesting if you choose to dive a bit deeper than what's just shown in class and what you need to learn for the exams.
Yeah.
And what I find really nice with the program is that you can, like, when you're in your third year, you can really choose what courses you want. You have like a huge selection of different subjects. Like if you're interested in machine learning, for example, you can just take those courses. If you're interested in compilation like me, I can just take those courses, and I don't like have obligatory courses in third year that much. So that's a great point.
Yeah, a lot of variety in the last year. That's pretty cool.
To go back and answer the question on least favorite courses, there are a few courses we have to take that aren't related to computer science. Well, they're related, but not strictly computer science courses. And I'm talking about the math classes that you have to take, specifically statistics. It's probably my least favorite.
No, statistics. Yeah, I have it next semester. We'll see how it goes.
Good luck.
Thanks. So maybe I think some of you guys are in in the student council or in some clubs in CS clubs at UDM. Could you talk about it for us a little bit more about the club and extracurriculars we have outside of the school or related to the school actually?
And start.
Yeah, it's it.
Well, we're all in the student union for computer science, and there we try to represent our students in like problems they're having with their classes or professors and to the university. Outside of computer science, I do debate, so a lot of talk and argumentation, and there are a lot of clubs that are available at the university.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah, maybe to add,
Yeah,
there's a lot of different activities that are organized. Maybe Louis can tell more because he's actually the guy who's organizing all these art activities. So I'll let.
Yeah, that comes in handy. Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially we try to have a living student life because, as we know, university is, yes, about studies, but also about knowing people, networking, and like having fun as well. Let's be honest. So yeah, we organize different events every week essentially to try to get people to be together, to talk, to interact. Sometimes it's more parties, sometimes it's more board games, and we also have a lot of competitions. We've got Head Up is our guy for competitions, and he's not there today, but like he's doing a really good job. So we get a lot of them and hackathon and such that come to us, and we can offer to our students so they can more easily find them.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So there's hackathons that are organized through the university. Is that right? Perfect. Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
We also have some club. There's one club that's strictly computer science related, and that's the computer security club. So it's all about sort of pen testing and stuff like that, and sort of the security side of computer science. But otherwise, there's a bunch of clubs that aren't related to computer science, and you can find, a group for really anything. Yeah.
Perfect.
And just to add, there's also, but like there's also the Interfax. It's like competitions of sports and stuff like that, and like we have some events going on, and like if you're into sports and stuff like that, you can find your fun by doing these activities. There's a lot.
Yeah, different sports.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just realized that there's a Q&A section. Are we supposed to answer those right now or just at the end?
I know the Q&A, we'll do it at the end.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, perfect. So now let's talk about the admission process actually at the University of Montreal. So as you guys know, there's a lot of CEGEP students that are looking towards their admission process right now and want to look maybe at different universities for next year. So can you tell us a little bit about more the admission process, maybe to know what is important? If the school looks a lot at the grades that you have, or is it hard? Stuff's related about it. Maybe, I don't know, Léonard, I think you're in third year. Maybe do you insights about that?
Yes. So what I know is that you need like 25 of cut R to enter, I think. And I heard that like if you have 27 and more, you're gonna be fine. And so it's not really that competitive, I think. But I had like pretty good grades, so it wasn't that of a struggle to get in. But I don't know if other people have other experiences.
I had a somewhat harder time because I don't come from Quebec. So I had to take a French test. Didn't study for it, but I still got way over the minimum, so I was good. So I don't think it's pretty competitive, but like something that they ask for, it can be challenging to get. Also, a birth certificate. That was a whole other story.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys come outside of Quebec, there's probably going to be a French test to do, yeah, because the classes are actually all in French, other than the master and I think doctorate classes that we have in English, but most of them in the undergrad are in French. Yeah.
Yeah, all undergrads are in French. It's like a rule of University of Montreal, and some class, like a lot of classes of master's degree or more, are in English.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of the French classes, how does classes in French actually impact maybe coding and programming? How does it work if like all the programming language are in English? Does it cause difficulties, or how does it work together?
It really doesn't change anything. Like the coding is in English, so we code in English because that's just how things are done. And teachers don't have any issues talking about it because they're fluent in English as well. So, and concepts are generally very interlanguage. Like whether it's in French or in English, it's exactly the same thing. Like piles and files are the same whether you're talking about English or French. And especially since the two languages are so similar, it's very rare that people are going to have issues because the programming is in English and the classes are in French. For people who come outside of Quebec, though, Étienne could probably talk about it a bit more.
Piles in English are called stacks, but our textbooks are all in English.
Yeah, so the textbooks are in English too. Yeah. So yeah, not much differences between French and English. So as you guys said, the programming language are made in English, so doesn't cause too much problem with that.
Yeah,
Simon?
I was just gonna add that when you're programming, you don't lose points for the quality of your French. Like if you name all your variables in English, you're not gonna lose any points for that. So when it comes to programming, it's really a non-issue, the language.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
And
Good to
often,
know,
like teachers accept bilingual submissions. So if you have like some
Assignments,
variables that are in English and like comments that are in French or something like that, it won't really be an issue as long as they can understand.
Yeah, okay. And now let's talk a bit about maybe the work experience or maybe the co-op program that we have at UdeM. I don't think you guys are actually in the co-op program, but you said some of you guys actually work. So for example, Léonard, you do research on the stuff. Étienne, you also work on open source. And Simon also, I think you said you work with a nonprofit. So can you talk a bit more about those work experiences? How maybe does it work with, how do you guys manage the balance with working and the university, or maybe the resources that actually the University of Montreal gives you guys for finding those opportunities?
Well, I started my own nonprofit for my open source projects, and that's how I get funding. That's how I pay myself, I guess. But this wasn't in no shape related to the university. It was all on my initiative and working on with people from around the world.
For me, working for the nonprofit, I learned about the nonprofit and started working for them actually for a school project. There's a class that you can take where during a whole semester you're going to be working on a project, and at the end you're graded on you know, what you learned by doing that project and how you contributed to it. And so when I completed that course afterwards, the nonprofit then hired me to continue working with them afterwards. And so that's how I'm working with them right now. And to sort of balance it, my hours at work and my hours studying, it's really, I benefit from the fact that my hours are really flexible at work, and I can really choose every week how many hours I want to work. And it helps me to, for example, if there are exams or something, to work fewer hours that week and then make them up in the next week, for example.
Nice.
I can maybe talk a bit about the co-op program. I'm not in co-op, but what I know is that you have like 2 sessions of class and then 1 session of internship in a company, and the university helps you a bit finding an internship, and they're doing right now a lot of efforts to improve this part, but like sometimes you have to search a bit for yourself to find the internship you really want, and you have to do your own process of searching and everything. But for the research part, there are some bourse, I don't remember the name, scholarship, yeah. There are some scholarship to do research with professors, and I did get 2 of them in the summer, so I did like some research with a teacher during the whole summer, and I was paid like okay salary to do that, and that was really nice. And it's not a program from the university, but the university helps you get get the application and all the everything, so that's great.
Set up,
Yeah.
Perfect. And in those experiences that you guys had, those work internships or research, for example, are there any particular skills you had or you learned that you thought were helpful, and some tips maybe, or skills that you learned that at those work experiences that you didn't get from the university, for example? Simon?
Yeah, well, certainly one of the most important skills I learned was time management, especially when it comes to working at the same time as studying. You have to really learn how to manage your time and set a specific amount of time for work and a specific amount of time for studying, so that you don't fall behind in one or the other. So, you know, it's kind of just a trial by fire, right? So you start in and you're going to make mistakes, but you end up figuring it out. And yeah, it's and you learn the skill, and it's a really important skill to have. I also want to add, just for the opportunities for finding internships and stuff like that. Oftentimes, the student association will send out links for events and conferences and stuff like that, where students can go and, like for example, by different companies like Google and Microsoft and stuff like that. And students can go and usually make connections over there and find internships through, through events like that that are sent to them through the student association.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, the association helps with different opportunities that you have in school. Okay.
I'd say code style and like code standards. You don't really learn that at university, and but that was the first thing I learned with open source when I was 14. So not in work, but I guess that fits in the question.
In the question, yeah. So yeah, so really, there's a lot of stuff that you don't actually learn from university. It comes directly from experiences and working, yeah. And actually, are those work experiences, like Leonard, you said you were in research, it's an open source. How's the work environment that going on with your internships, for example, or research? Like Leonard, maybe can you tell us about it? Like you said, you were working with professors, so you were doing research. Was it stressful? How was the work environment around that?
Oh, it's really it's not that stressful. It's just you like you talk with the professor, you see what kind of project he's working on, and he's giving you some things to do, and he's really helping you along the way. The professor that I had is really supportive. Like we have like a Slack channel, and we can just talk on it, and he responds like really quickly, and he's really there to make sure that you understand what you're doing and that you're not like lost or anything. And just to add to the skills that you learned, one skill that we kind of see in school but not really dive into it is like the using GitHub or these kind of like the Git protocol. It's like really, really useful in enterprise or other project when you have to work in common. And basically, like if you're in first year and you don't understand what I'm saying, it's just a program that helps you manage multiple people working on the same programming document or stuff like that. And it's not really hard to use, but it can get a bit like overwhelming if you're just learning that at the same time networking and everything. But I learned it like pretty like a way back, so it's not really an issue that I did come across, but I see like some people did have issues with that.
Yeah, and actually, I think they added a small GitHub like section in the web development class. I have it this semester, so they taught us about GitHub. So yeah, this is definitely something important that you want to learn in school, actually. Yep. Okay, perfect. So now I think we'll take, or Simon, if you have something to say, you can go.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yep.
Regarding work environment, for working at the university and at the nonprofit I work at, I was working during the pandemic. It was all virtual, right? And going forward, it's going to be a hybrid mode. So if you get like a student job, they'll probably be pretty flexible with working from home and stuff like that, which is could be beneficial for.
Yeah, definitely an advantage. So as I said, I think now we'll take, let's do a few Q&A questions actually for now. So we have them in the chat. So someone is asking, aren't statistics heavily related to data science and AI, referring to when you talked about the class? I don't remember. I think it was either Simon, I think, that talked about statistics. So, or Leonard, I don't remember. So aren't statistics heavily related to data science and AI?
Yeah, they are heavily related. AI, like if you're doing like deep learning or in fact machine learning, is the right term. You're basically doing statistics in the background. Often you don't come across that much of statistics because you're using like a higher level and you're more using strategies of data science that are based on statistics but are not like there are some kind of statistic, but you don't have to understand like the deepest kind of statistic to really understand the technique of data science and everything. But it's really good to know those to know the fundamentals, and that's why they're doing statistic classes. But if like AI is really something that interests you, there is a special program called data science actually, and it's in the courses mathematics and informatics, and you really have like one whole class of statistic, one whole class of probabilities, and you really go into what statistics, like the basics of what AI is, and you understand what it means to like play with these data as a data scientist.
So all those stats can be hard. It's actually really helpful for machine learning data science.
Exactly.
Yeah. So other questions that we have, what do you typically do in hackathons?
Well,
So
it
you guys
depends
mentioned it.
on.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what hackathon you go to, but in general, you get a team of people or just yourself, and you get a project that you want to complete during the hackathon, and then by the end, you present it to everyone else, and people can discuss whether it was about it.
Yeah, and you guys actually, I think, are organizing hackathons at University of Montreal. Do you have like examples of maybe past projects or themes that you incorporated in those hackathons?
I've been to one hackathon, and there I worked on supporting MIDI on Wikipedia.
Okay,
One hackathon that's organized by the university, it's a hackathon for CJEP students. We didn't have, like since the pandemic, we didn't really have an edition, but it's really to get CJEP students to like get into programming and what's a hackathon, because it's really playful. And one thing that's really nice is the project that was presented. One year it was like creating the first level of Mario, for example, from scratch, and like they're really helping you along the way and everything, so you don't get lost. But that was really a nice hackathon that we did. But also often we create groups inside our association, like we diffuse those hackathons and everything, and like people create teams, and then we participate in those hackathons as the University of Montreal, because we created those groups.
Nice. So let's take another questions related to the co-op program. Can someone start co-op in winter, or else take courses earlier than your usual course load if you will start in the fall? So
what I heard is that co-op is really like strict in the classes that you have to take. I don't think you can start co-op in the winter, but what you can probably do is start like do maybe some courses in the winter and start it in the fall. And what I know also is if you start in the fall, you cannot fail any classes, because if you fail any, you'll have to wait like 1 year to do it again, because the classes that are available in the summer, because sometimes you have like summer sessions because you do an internship during the winter or the fall, and this means that the classes that you take in the summer are like available, only those classes are available, so you can't really choose much what you take.
yeah, so the co-op has a more rigid structure to it.
Yeah, exactly. And just to add, there's also a honors program that exists, and it lets you take graduate courses while in the in, yeah,
Undergrad.
while undergrad. And like I've been I'm on it, and it's really nice to do some more advanced classes during your undergraduate studies.
Okay, that's definitely another program that's interesting. Are there any requirements also, I guess, for the honors?
For the honors, yeah, you have to get 3.5 GPA or more to get into it. But as long as you have that, you're into it. There's no other requirements.
Okay, perfect. Now a question related to the dorms. So how far or close are the dorms from the campus? And is there actually someone that lived on the dorms that maybe could give us experience? So Etienne, if you want to start, you can go.
Well, I don't live in the dorms and good luck getting one because they're really in short supply, and they are quite close to where you'll be having your classes for now.
For now.
Yeah, and
Yeah, Louis.
in a few years, where the university is building a new building, and that's in around 3 to 4 years, I believe. The section where the our department is gonna be finished, and it's gonna be in Campus Mill. It's called it, but it's much further from the dorms. Like,
But in
Kilometers.
campus mill, you can have dorms like next to the campus mill.
Building
Yeah. They aren't? Oh, I thought they were.
However, it's still close to the metro. Public transport in Montreal is pretty excellent, and so the University of Montreal, pretty much every building is near at least one metro station. So you can get there with your Opus card. A student Opus card is $50 a month, I think, and so it's very getting there is not too much of a problem.
Yeah, because with the metro, Montreal, as you said, has a pretty good transport, so you can get around easily.
And like most people I know are either in an apartment or like in co-location with other people. So it's
It's another option. Yeah, it can go.
yeah.
Okay, other question. You talked about classes in the program that aren't pure computer science, such as math and stats. Are there also some elective classes that you can take in different faculties? So if Simon, you can go
Yeah,
on
for
first.
sure. Depending on the program you're in computer science, you have a few. You have to take some classes that aren't in the program. When you're in computer science and math, I believe you can still continue to take like computer science classes as electives. Um, but either way, you have a lot of options. Well, you have at least a few classes, a few credits that are going to be possibly outside of the computer science department.
Perfect. And yeah, I think we had another question related to, I think, the language of the classes. So it was just asking if the classes were all in French and if the university was actually just French speaking. So I don't know if someone can answer. Simon, you can go, yeah.
Yeah, well, as we said before, all undergraduate classes have to be given in French. Graduate classes, however, you sometimes see them given in English. There's actually quite a few of them, especially at for AI and machine learning classes that are given by the MILA. They're usually given in English. However, there's, as has been mentioned before, there's a lot of flexibility. If you're not very comfortable with French, you can still submit assignments in English, and most teachers will still accept them and grade them as they would any other assignment. But that just really depends on the teacher, and you can go and ask ahead of time if they're willing to do that for your class.
And actually, is it another question that is related to the language? Is it hard to navigate, I guess, through Montreal if you don't speak French at all? So if you don't speak French, only English, can you get around Montreal easily? Do people speak English? So Etienne, if you can say
we
something.
are all francophones, but I guess it'd be easy to, especially if you go around McGill.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of people in Montreal also speak English. It's not that hard to get around.
Yeah, most people are bilingual too. So really not.
Just don't attract attention to yourself by only by your by being only English, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think Etienne is sort of joking there. Like, don't be frightened of coming to Montreal if you're not comfortable in French.
I'm also thinking about Canada.
Oh yeah, right, true. Yeah, don't be like afraid of coming to Montreal if you're not comfortable with French. Although we very much appreciate people making an effort and trying to learn French and speak French. It's very much possible to get around knowing only English, for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely good to know. If you come outside of Quebec, for example, and you don't speak French at all. Now, another question. I think one of you guys mentioned the Mila Center, so the Mila Research Center. So someone was asking actually what kind of research is done there? Is it related to artificial intelligence and machine learning? So I don't know. I think Léonard, you'll have
Yeah.
maybe experience in research. Do you know what Mila is doing?
Yeah, Mila is really focusing on what is machine learning and deep learning. They have like a whole variety of different projects. They have like some related to vision and trying to understand objects, and they have other projects where they're doing more fundamental research on what AI is and how to do new to find new tactics to tackle those problems. And the head of the Mila is called Yoshua Bengio, and he's like one of the top researchers in the world in AI. And the Mila is really known internationally. They did get like a lot of financing from, for example, Google and other companies, and this is why they have like their own faculty and everything. So the Mila is huge, and it's related to the University of Montreal. Some teachers teach undergraduate classes here and are also related to the Mila. So if you want to get there, one way to do it is like get to know one of the teacher and then do research with him at the Mila. You can also enter like normally by applying to the Mila for master's degrees or higher. So yeah.
So it's a research center affiliated with the University of Montreal. Is that right?
Yeah, but it's also affiliated to other universities. It's not only the University of Montreal.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
I think a pretty important portion of our graduate courses are courses that are given under the umbrella of the Mila. So they're given by researchers over there. And so if you're thinking about going into graduate studies, and especially are interested in machine learning and AI, yeah, there's going to be a lot of courses at the university that fall under the umbrella of the Mila research.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so there's a lot of connection between the university and the professors at Mila, so it's a good thing to know. And now last question that we have, what was your favorite project that you did at University of Montreal related to comp sci? So we can start by Léonard and at first.
I think my favorite project is doing the interpreter. They have another class where you do a compiler, which is like the most advanced. It's a bigger version of an interpreter, but basically it's creating your own programming languages and like programming programming languages. So it's really meta kind of stuff. And this was like one of my favorite projects I did at university. And also the project I worked on with my professors are really interesting. For example, we worked on a web platform to to program online. So we have like this whole problem solving of actually running code inside the browser, but in different languages and stuff like that. So that's it was a nice project to do too.
Yeah, pretty cool. What about you, Louis? What was your favorite project at UDM?
Well, I haven't done anything very like complex, but the thing I like doing the most was probably the team project, just in computer engineering. It's probably not that in English, but it's génie logiciel.
Software
Software
engineering.
engineer. Yeah.
Oh
software
yeah,
engineer.
clearly. Yeah, thanks. Yep. Oh well, yeah, it was the team project. It wasn't complicated as far as programming goes, but just learning how to work in a team and learning how to use. That's where you learned how to use Git and GitHub and other different Git platforms. So that really helped me like progress as far as my knowledge of programming goes.
Nice. Next, we can have Étienne.
Just in school, I remember doing the compiler and the interpreter projects. But I'd say that one of my favorite was just making a simple like JavaScript game for music theory.
Oh, okay, pretty cool. Yeah, music theory. And finally, Simon.
Well, in one of our classes, we have to create an extension of a MIPS processor. And so you end up writing like machine instructions and coding an FPGA to sort of expand the basic instructions that it understands. And that was really something that I wasn't expecting to learn at university, but really surprised me and left me, I think, more knowledgeable about how processors work and how the hardware works, which is fun.
Yeah, so as you guys could see, there's a lot of projects that you're working on in class 2 that are pretty interesting, and they can go from compiling to games, web development. So there's a lot of variety in those projects.
But also like classes, one thing I just remembered was writing an essay on Battlestar Galactica.
Oh yeah, what class was that?
It was modern American philosophy.
Oh, okay, so you see, there's also projects in the elective too. Okay. Okay, perfect. So I think those were all the questions we had. So we will end up the panel right now on this. So I'd like to thank again the speakers, the 4 students that we had from DM. Thanks a lot for coming and answering questions. Also like to thank the attendees and also everyone that participated in making this panel possible. So thanks a lot to everyone, and do not forget to stay curious. So thanks everybody, and see you another time.